is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. It's Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. I do the disclaimer, use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. Apply the but-for legal standard. But for Mr. Perry committing a whole myriad of crimes against me, we wouldn't document them on a podcast. By the way, Mr. Perry, one that has been added is tampering with evidence when you shut this off. Right when I started talking about Fabian. Did it make you uncomfortable? You're not supposed to know what I'm doing. The only way you would know what I'm doing is you're a peeping Tom and you're a hacker. And you shouldn't care what I have to say about Fabian if you're not what I say, stalker. Or whatever the fuck it is, you're just human trafficker, whatever the fuck it is you are. So you tampered with my evidence. They're going to add another one for what you just did on this. This is evidence for court, ours. I don't know what the hell y'all want to do with it. I don't care. It's evidence for ours. So you just tampered with this. That's your thing. Altering evidence, destroying evidence, and you just did it again. That subject matter made you uncomfortable, huh? Get the fuck out of my phone. Get the hell out of my phone. So, but for him doing that, apply the reasonable, prudent individual standard, and we assert our constitutional rights. And let's play this that you can hear right where he cut it off. He just fucking cut it off. I wasn't finished yet. I'm like, oh my god. yes. We do the disclaimer. Because allegedly nobody's been found guilty in a court of law yet. But for legal standard, but for Mr. Perry, stalking, hacking, coercing, trying to start to tell I lie, trying to force me back to Texas against my will, and hand me off to someone he sold me to, which is illegal to sell people. Civil War ended slavery, Mr. Perry. You've seen at Texas Tech, man on the street kind of deal. Nobody knew what the Civil War was. That seems to be the problem of, your type. Neanderthal, misogynist, Noah's Ark, Hillbilly. So, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence, perjury. There's a list, but for all that, we wouldn't document it in a podcast. So, why are we getting all this information, Mr. Perry, before you do it? Like we saw in the McNamara email, he's going to false arrest me, and then he did months later. He did exactly that. He then sent this guy to solicit prostitution, one that you can see here that says you could run him politically. I don't care about that. I want him to leave me alone. Stalking is a felony. Hacking and peeping or cloning are all felonies. Coercion is a felony. Witness tampering is a felony. Trafficking has a life sentence. Perjury, 5 years old. 5 years minimum per count. Right? Minimum. That's the minimum. Get it? 5 years per count. The first one was when you went into court and said, I'm the victim of a political vendetta, and there was a false police report filed in retaliation for my job. And everybody laughed. First of all, you don't matter politically. Second of all, it's funny that you think you do. It speaks to your delusion. Second of all, I don't live in Texas. I live in Oklahoma. You don't legislate in Oklahoma. Second of all of my communications were about stalking, going back to 2011, 5 years before I could have anticipated Mr. Perry would commit perjury and claim to be the victim of a political vendetta. He was the new guy. I was in politics all my life. I didn't need his help with anything. I didn't do state legislation. I did federal. So where's the political issue that you make of the stalker story? Only tell a few close friends for 5 years, move, then move again, and then make the matter public when you try to get a protective order. And he knew in Oklahoma, by law, you must file a police report, and that police report, in order to be determined true or false, has to be investigated. You interfered with the chain of custody of the evidence by preventing by physical force my reporting of the crime that you committed and providing the evidence to police and the proper collection of that evidence. You prevented it, and I lost my evidence. The arsenic you just saw. Where's the blood test? So that was the first perjury right there. And what do we count it as? 1 or 2, sir? The second was when you went in and said, Judge Darnell, she and I have agreed that I will leave her alone. So it was in the bond conditions, my bond conditions, that Charles Perry would never contact me again. So I guess those guys in Manford were like, I've seen bond conditions before. They don't look anything like this. This looks like a cover-up negotiation to me. Quid pro quo. Right? I won't talk about the false arrest you did if you never fucking contact me again, and you broke the promise. The second my feet hit Oklahoma dirt, you went right back at it. You cannot control yourself. So I understand that I've been sold in some type of bizarre human trafficking thing, and I wasn't supposed to know that. I also wasn't supposed to know about the alleged forgery of a marriage license and a power of attorney Mr. Perry used to get break privacy laws, getting information on my car, getting information on my bank accounts, my school, 20 different things he shouldn't even know about or care, and yet he does. So, I guess the thing that they planned last night is make sure she doesn't pay that phone bill or the car bill, and then when her car wouldn't have the dealer disable the car, and then when she can't start it, she can't call anybody for help. They did fuck up my phone. I finally got it working, but they fucked it up. I did pay the bill though. So my phone was fucked up, and they knew what they were doing. If you hack somebody, you know exactly when their bills are due and how to make sure they don't make any money so they can't pay it. If you notice when my bills are due, or there was a court, something needed to be filed, all of a sudden my income took a nosedive every time. Going back way back. So the guys that told me, Mr. Perry, that you were trafficking me, you think they don't have all that information in great detail? Yep. So, we get more today, because the way this works is, I mean, the intent is to get a criminal conviction, and clearly the more evidence you get against someone who's committing a crime, the easier that is to do. The McNamara email was the first of it that I was allowed to say something. I wasn't even allowed to say there was an investigation for a long time. But Mr. Perry was talking about killing me. Every time he talks about killing me, then my guys will make some changes, clearly and obviously, to protect my life. So at that point, there was a determination made. We're going to go ahead and let him know there is such a thing, but he can't know who else involved in it. So I think at that point we said, yeah, there is. The hope at that point would be to deter the crime in attempting to kill me. That was what the thought process was behind that, Mr. Perry. Once he knows he's got cops investigating him, maybe he won't kill her. And then you kept it going. You've still talked about hiring a hitman. A bunch. So then they went to the judge. Judge, he's still talking about getting a hitman. So he gave a very broad order to get whatever information is needed to keep me alive. That's how I get all this information. How else do you think I would get it? Jean Mitchell wanted to know, how'd she know my legal argument before I made it? She texted me and told me, no, don't do that. It doesn't even make sense. How'd she know? How did she know Michael Neely was drugged before anybody else said it? There was no depositions taken yet when she said it. So how did I know? How did I know that Mr. Perry trafficked me? Now they want to pull a list of realtors, sir. Who? We already know. We already know about this guy. Who? The buyer. So who else is looking to pull a list of realtors? Male, white, middle-aged realtors in Houston who would have the money to buy a person or think they did. Who want that list? Somebody's looking for it. Mr. Powell was also, we got him today. I wish I had gotten to know her better when she lived in Lubbock. She's nothing like Charles described. Not even close. Is that because he's delusional or he just lies? I mean, the guy lies so much, nobody believes a word he says anymore. I mean, he could lie so much, people just finally go, just shut up. You do really fucking think we believe a word you say at this point? I mean, you've been caught in lie after lie after lie. I mean, come on. And this morning he's typing in my phone, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're not sorry. First of all, get out of my phone. If you were sorry, you wouldn't be in my phone. You're sorry you got caught, not for what you did. I want to win an election. Guess what? Nobody fucking cares. You don't live in Oklahoma. I've been in Oklahoma 9 years. I came here to get away from you. What is your election? Who gives a fuck? We're all tired about hearing about you and your election, and you need a lie. Everybody's sick of it. I mean, really, really super duper crazy ass major sick of it hearing about you need a lie. I mean, it's like if he says it one more time, I'll punch him. We're sick of hearing about he needs a lie. And then watch what he's putting Cynthia through, him and David. Both of them. We're sick of it. We're just so fucking sick of it. So that's how we get information, Mr. Perry. And I've told you all that every day for years. When you contact me at all, and you're creepy in the way that you contact me, when you invade my privacy, if my privacy is invaded at all by anybody, the longer you're doing that, the longer you're imposing and being a burden in my life, causing drama and loss and hardship and suffering, and the longer I'm broke, and the longer Mike Neely's in jail, and you're causing the people to hurt, and everybody's worried about me. Nobody cares about your lie. They're worried about me and Mike. Why would you not know that? Psychopath. Sociopath, whichever one it is. Maybe it's both. The more pissed off everybody gets that, why would you put somebody through that? Because you need a lie. The more information we can get from right up under your noses, right inside your camp. And never has that happened before. When you started trying to kick me out of my home, we get Calvin, we get his role, we get his name, we get Geppetto, we get his role, we get his name, we get Lucius, we get Monique, we get Blankenship Desiree. We get all those names. So, not all those people are criminals, by the way. So, what I'm telling you is, what is it going to take? We say it, here's the thing. Every time you start threatening me, a lot of times we get it beforehand, not after. Well, 98% of the time, don't we? 98% of the time, we get you guys planning it. And then when you do it, now we've got you premeditated. Now we've got mains ready. When you get caught and then you table it for a little bit low, let's create a panacea and let the dust settle, and then we'll try again, and then we'll talk about it again. Now they have 2 recordings. Now they got caught. Oh shit, we got caught again. So let's table it again. We'll wait a little bit. Right, with the yellow brick road, that was the thing. Who was the one? Was it Calvin that said, well, since we can't get her kicked out on COVID, because of the COVID moratorium, we can't take her money and make it where she can't pay her bill on this one because there's a COVID moratorium. So let's try to do smoking. And then you got caught on that. But that was on February 9th. On February 15th, a few days later, she did try. The manager did try. So then I'm like, well, I told you so. We got those names after you did that. Got those names. Was it Calvin that said that? We know Calvin said she doesn't know what I can do to her. And he's been told, you're not looking at what she's doing to you. You're not looking at it. When she's quoting you, when in the fuck do you think that means? How's that happening? Weren't you the one that said you can't trust that car dealer? We need to get her back to the car dealer. We need to get her back on that pole and on the schedule. We need to get her to, so broke she takes all this jewelry Terry gave her as a gift, leftover auction crap, to a pawn shop. My guys look at it and they take it to their jewelry guy and he's like, it's Avon crap. It's Avon at Walmart. Well, the pawn shop won't take it. Nobody bothered to look at the jewelry you guys gave me to frame me for a jewelry. They were going to get me on stolen property. They've been trying to arrange some kind of false arrest again. Because Charles told Fabian, I'm going to put her back in jail, find a way to lock her up again, and she won't get out this time unless she's with me, and you need to give up. Because those two, I guess, were fighting over me, and I'm like, but the fight's not between you two. The fight, it's my decision who I like and don't like, and I don't like you. I liked him. He won. You lost. Just like that. Just to have a relationship of any kind, whether it be business, friendship, acquaintance, or romantic, or whatever it is, both people have to want to be in it. Or that's not a relationship. Now you just got stalking. Now you just got harassing. Now you just got weirdo. That's it. Period. So, long ago, I had to come to the realization that not everybody likes me, and that's fine. Hang out with people like you. Sometimes there are people that didn't want to be my friend, and that's, you got, if you're mature, you go, well, that's fine, and you move on, and you hang out with the people that like you, because there's always going to be people that like you, and no matter who you are, there's always going to be people that don't like you. There's going to be people that want to date you, and they might want to date you for a little while and decide there's something about you that they don't want to live with, or vice versa, or it's mutual. I dated a lot of men. I only married one so far. So there was only one so far that I decided that, there's not something here that I can't live with. There was other people that I dated that I can't live with this. I can't live with it. This is not somebody I want to spend any more time with, because I don't think this is the one. Either they, whatever it was they did, or had their belief systems or something. So why can't you move on? I mean, we don't even know what the hell your deal is. You pretend that this is about a romantic thing for you, but you sold me. And I wasn't supposed to know, but I do know. And you act like you don't know what it means that I do know. I do know about the forged marriage license and the forged power of attorney. And then when you start getting asked questions, well, we think that's a forgery. Where's the wedding photos? Where's the date? When did you go on a date? Oh shit, now I gotta throw together a wedding. And how did you think you were gonna get me to help you with that? I'd have beat the hell out of you. There was no way that was gonna happen. We don't know why the hell you thought it would. But you guys come up with some stuff and it's nothing but delusion. And none of you act like you have any grip. Okay, so let's back up. What they did is Mr. Perry sold me, and he took half the money up front, and he was waiting to deliver to get the other half. It still is. Still thinks he can pull this off. And now nobody understands why he thinks that. So does David. Everybody's like, why do you guys think you can pull this off? David, what's your financial interest in it? How much money have you laundered, David? I mean, I promise you my guys know exactly how much money you've laundered. So, you know why? Because the longer I'm broke, the more you guys harass and cause problems for me, the more loss you cause problems for me, My guys get really pissed off. Everybody gets very upset, and they're worried about me, and they go at you. You too, Calvin. They go at y'all because you're hurting me and Mike. So the more you guys do that, the harder my guys go at you, and they get more evidence than anybody ever has of your crime. Nobody's ever gotten this much, right? So, you know, we're like, what kind of delusion planet are you? I mean, what do you think we're going to do with all that? Do you think we're just going to play it at a party for entertainment? I guess you do. It is to get an indictment and a conviction, and the more we get, the easier it will be to get a conviction, David. We quote you every fucking day, bitch. Every fucking day. Nobody's doing anything to you. You're not sleeping in your car. You've not lost your home. You're the one picking the fight. I'm not doing anything. I don't give a fuck about you. You don't matter to me at all. But as it pertains to any kind of injury during an illegal act that you caused me. Otherwise, you don't matter to me at all. I couldn't care less about you. So, you clearly have some sort of weird obsession with me. We don't even know what to say to that. We don't fucking know what to say to that. So they sold me. Well, what Mr. Perry does is he has an online peep show. When he tells his wife and constituents and everybody that he's out of town on business, he's out of town on business, but not like you think. He's trolling women, our witness says. He'll find women who are divorced with kids. He puts a hidden camera in their home when they're not there. He starts broadcasting them on the dark web and sells watch time. He makes a shit ton of money doing that. And then he's also a sex sadist, so he likes getting women all hysterical and everybody all upset. And you got to think about it, how much time, every time he does something to me, he gets caught, and he does it anyway. 7 years later, every fucking day, he gets caught, and he still does it. So no normal person, would do that. You do something to me, you get caught. You do something to me, you get caught. You do something to me, you get caught. It's different when you do it to me. And yet you guys still do it. So we're like, that's not even benefiting them. So there's the only other thing, I mean, it's more important to him to get everybody all pissed off than it is even for a cover-up or cooperation. So why would you do that unless you just like pissing people off because you got a sadist problem? And that sadist problem, you like to go, the witness said, he likes to get women hysterical so he can go rub one out. He likes getting people upset so he can go rub one out. It's a sex problem. It's crime causation. He's a sex weirdo. There's a whole book called Sexual Homicide. The guy that wrote it set up the profiling department at the FBI. He lists the whole thing. He lists bestiality. He lists trans. Not all transgender are going to, become a criminal. But that seems to be a contributing factor. He lists all kinds of different things that would be called rape. All kinds of different things that would be called a sex deviancy issue. As crime causation that then ends up leading to murder, like you saw BTK. Where BTK binds, tortures, kills, and then goes jacks off in the other room, he said. And normal people are horrified by this. We're like, wow, oh my God, that's awful. And they're horrified by you guys. David, Charles, Josh, Joe, Matt. I don't know about Josh, Joe, and Matt, but certainly the Sex Weirdo Corporation, everybody's horrified by you people. So what he does is he'll get them fired. And then they lose the home. Then he has the ex take the kids away. And these women are down to nothing. He'll strip these women down to nothing. And then sells them. Because at that point, he thinks nobody cares. They have nothing. They got nothing. They got nowhere else to go. And that's what he's been trying to do to me. It's different when he does it to me, though, because I have help. I have help that are in law enforcement that he can't get to. Nobody will tell him a fucking thing. Why would we? Why would they tell you anything? You've called every law enforcement agency in the country trying to figure out who it is, and nobody will tell you fuck. You're dangerous. We got Dead Lucky, and we got Almost Dead Framed Mike, and we got Almost Dead, Almost Framed Cynthia. For, jewelry scam and drug trafficking. You try to get me to get the drug dealer to tell her to go ask that cop over there if he wants his drugs. Just trying to be nice, she'll help him. And I didn't. I was like, yeah, well, I'm not, wow. Wow. How many different times you've tried to frame me for 2 murders? You've collected my cigarette butts from my work, my clothing items from my work, gum. So, whatever you can collect so you could plant it. So if you have to alter evidence, then you got the wrong person. I think somebody told y'all already. Get her to change her hair color to match the Cynthia's hair, so the real offender. Get her shoe print, get her ringtone, get her, all this stuff. And then, you got somebody, I guess, at TPD when he's asked it, and he's like, well, I can't place her even at the scene at all, much less on the night of murder. Well, she's just dealing with a public defender. Yeah, but you saw what she did on Mike's case, so you think she won't figure it out? Ask that kind of question. You're just dealing with a public defender. He won't ask about that. He won't think about that. Yeah, but she will. Have you met her? Did you not see Mike's case? You know, we're dealing with not the brightest bulbs. So, after he got women on this dark website, men are shopping at this point. They're going to pick one they want to buy. And then he'll traffic these women. And he has family berate them when they start calling and ask, I can't find a job. He makes them worry they can't find another job. He's done that to me too. He'll spoof accounts. So he'll spoof websites. So you're applying for unemployment or you're applying for a job and you're not actually applying for a job. You're filling out a form on his spoofed site and then you're wondering why you don't get a call back. Or everybody tells you no. And you're like, why is everybody telling me no? I mean, I'm smart. It's not like I'm smart. I've never had this problem before in my life until I met Charles Berry. Now all of a sudden, I can't find a fucking job. It's Charles Berry. Didn't your guys say we've never had one? Figure out we had cameras in their house? Or that we were causing their problems? Or sue us or invoice us for the time that we used their body to make a profit and get entertained? And $1,000 a day for using my body for your entertainment and for profit. Plus $2,000 a day for doing it without consent. You have to get consent. I'm at age of consent, sir. You absolutely, by law, have to have my consent. And when you bother me, remember, I have cops helping me. They'll kick your ass. They've already kicked y'all's ass harder than anybody else you know. And you act like you fucking have no idea. So, after he basically causes conflict in every relationship that you have. And any system of support that you might have, he'll just strip it away. And then sells you. So, these women think they think nobody will miss them. They think nobody cares. They think, well, somebody cared somewhere because they called me in. They called me in to help get you elected. So that they could go at you. So someone somewhere cared. And you fucked up. Criminals always make a mistake eventually. So, then he'll sell. And that's kind of what he's doing to me right now. He's in the process of just dwindling me down to nothing. I'm homeless right now. I've never been homeless in my life. I'm sleeping in my car for the first time in my life. Because he's already sold me and he's been getting, more and more desperate to deliver. So what they'll do is, Charles, I said no. He just typed in my other phone, yes, I'm desperate to deliver. You're caught. You're about to go to prison. When we quote you, what do you think we're doing that for, Mr. Mental Slow? What do you think we're getting all that information for, Mr. Mental Slow? What is it? You don't have any idea what it means that we've gotten this much of your crime, do you? You can tell it's just not connecting for you. It's just not connecting for you. Most people, when they get caught planning crime, are smart enough to realize I'm in some trouble here. Maybe I should stop. Mr. Perry doesn't get it. It's just like floats around in his head, whether it's just not clicking. They got to disconnect. They don't have any idea what it means that we have all this information that will be used to get a conviction. And the more we get, the easier it will be to get a conviction. And the more they do to me, the more we get. Right over his head. Stupid as fuck. Stupidest fuck I've ever met in my life. I could sting up this bitch in my sleep. That's why they won't let me in court, because I'm going to put him on the stand. Everybody knows I'd get all kinds of shit. This guy's dumb as a brick. Easiest sting up, I'm sure. My guy said that. He goes, Charles Perry and David Robertson were the easiest sting ups I've ever done in my life. Both of them are stupid. And both of them like to brag about what they can do and get away with. So I didn't have any problem stinging up them. Both of them. What else did you say? Anyways, it will be used against you in a court of law, just so you know. So, the marriage license forgery and the power of attorney forgery are to gain financial information so that they can screw up bank drafts. They can put money through. I've had them take money out of my account. Just make up some, dummy corporation and make a withdrawal illegally. Get information from people that are my car guy that has a legal obligation to protect my information. It's private by law. and he'll get through those with these forged documents. Well, people started questioning, is this a forgery? Lucky Miller asked me, is this a forgery? I said, yeah, I wouldn't sign that. There's no way. I would not sign any of that for Charles Perry. Good God. Thankfully, he asked me about it. He didn't have it with him. He came to my work. Why did he come to my work? My work was an hour drive. The police station was 5 seconds from where I was staying. And yeah, he and Mike drove all the way out to Sensations to talk to me at work. Why did they have to go all the way out there to talk to me instead of just driving over to the hotel and talking to me at the hotel? We've always thought that was curious, Mr. Perry. We already know the answer. We want you to answer that question. Why did he do that way? So, when that starts coming up, this is a problem now that these two documents are a forgery, and he's gaining information illegally. And that makes now one crime is now two. So, then he throws together a wedding. Oh, I guess we better have a wedding so that I can get pictures to show that I actually had her consent. It's way after the fact, by the way. Way after the fact. Yeah, nobody will suspect a thing. He does that all the time. I'll do this and nobody will suspect a thing. And we're like laughing. Actually, okay, is that what you think? That's why this is so easy. It's not fair. So that's the process that Mr. Perry will go through. That is a serious crime. It's a life sentence, Mr. Perry, to traffic a person. I just said, you can't do it now. Everybody's been telling you, you can't do it now. The more harm you cause me, the more these cops get. Because everybody's very angry at you. Very upset with you. You and David, just seething hatred towards y'all. You call and call and call, and nobody will tell you fuck. But guess what? We're quoting you like that. I did find out about the forgeries. I did find out about the trafficking. I do know what my ex-husband was trying to do for you, and he was trying to coerce. Whether or not he knew he was trafficking is a whole different thing. But I know it before you did it, dumbass. Do you understand what that means? You don't have my consent. I'm the age of consent. I'm 53, not 12. I'm not a teenage runaway. I'm not a mail-order bride. I'm a U.S. citizen. Constitution protects my rights. The laws protect my rights, and I assert them. You heard our equal protection, you misogynist pig. Yeah, you're in some trouble. On reality at all. If I'm quoting you every fucking day for 7 years, and you don't know what it means that we have all that, and you just keep going at it, it doesn't get any more delusional than that. I mean, it just doesn't. If you can't see that the repercussions already of what you're doing is that it starts getting to my guys, what are they going to do with it? You know, it didn't occur to you, well, it's probably going to be used in a court of law to get a conviction against me. And the more they get, the easier it's going to be to get that conviction. Just pile it up. Maybe I shouldn't do the same thing every day that gets the same results. There's never going to be a date. You don't even know. I mean, when you go around telling people you wanted a date, we laugh. It's like, well, no, that's a ruse. That's a con. It's a trafficking thing. That's a con. There's nothing like that going on at all, even for him. He sold me, and I wasn't supposed to know. What was supposed to happen is, they were supposed to get me kicked out of my home. They were supposed to make me go broke. I was then supposed to call my ex-husband and say, come get me. He was then supposed to come get me and take me back to Texas, where they could do more to me. And immediately grab me up and hand me off and deliver. Because they already took half the money up front. They're just waiting to deliver to get the other half. And that guy, that schmuck, thinks he bought a person. I'm not a teenage runaway. I'm not a Russian mail-order bride. I'm not a refugee, sir. And second, I don't go out with a man unless he makes sure I don't miss a meal. I don't do it. And I've said that. And here's Mr. Perry trying to starve me into a lie. Every day I get that threat. I'm going to starve you until you lie. I'm going to take your car and you're going to lie. I'm going to have you eating out of a dumpster and then you're going to lie. And I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry that we are catching your crime. Like nobody's done that before. I wasn't supposed to know you trafficked me, and yet I do. I wasn't supposed to know you had forged documents, and yet I do. I wasn't supposed to know that you're getting information about my finances and who I'm with and what I'm doing in my school, blah, 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 illegally with a forged document, but I do. We heard you had a meeting with people in my life that you should know, told them what you were going to do, and then went to dry eye in the room and Alice was screaming at you. Why are you doing this? People don't like crime. It's second on the list, only to their own personal finances. This is the shit we want stopped. Defunding police was about corruption. There was a cop that got a pass way too long. He was a bad cop. There's bad and good everything. There's good cops, there's bad cops. And I will tell you this though. If you get up in the morning and you're helping a guy like Charles Perry, you need to rethink your career. If your job for you isn't about relieving suffering caused by crime, you need to rethink your career. You're in it for the wrong reasons and you're gonna fuck something up. And you could get somebody killed. We got a dead chief of police and an almost dead framed detective. And I don't know how many different ways to say, you do not leave cop family behind. You do not do it. Absolutely, under no circumstances at all. And I put my money where my mouth is. I lost my home. I'm sleeping in my car. I barely eat sometimes. And I have not backed off one bit because we, as cop family, I come from 4 generations of it, of law enforcement cops. We don't leave a man behind. We don't do it. If you're able to do that, you need to rethink being a cop. Either you be very, very, very good at what you do, or get the fuck out of it, whatever it is. If it's being a doctor, if it's being a nurse, if it's being a teacher, if it's being a cop, it doesn't matter. But the cop thing is way more important because your job is to look a victim in the face and say, you're safe now. That monster won't hurt you again. We slayed your dragon, we caught the bad guy, and he will never hurt you again, and now you're safe. And that is why we have a crime is second on the list of things that are important to people in this country. Sick of it. Everybody's sick of crime. What makes you think everybody'd be okay with yours? David, Charles, Josh, Joe, Matt, Geppetto, Calvin, and the guy who bought me. What is your name? Is your name Jim? I mean, I'm not told that. There's a lot of things that information is withheld. Is your name Jim? And the reason I'm asking that is because Perry keeps typing that name in my phone. And I thought for a long time he's asking if Jim McHugh is leaking. That would be Robertson's attorney. He might be. He might mean that. That might be what he's getting at. We just put Jim in the Z. Who the fuck is Z? He typed that in yesterday. Z, you think Shirley. I don't know who the fuck Z is, but other than you saying it, I've actually not heard that name. Ever. Other than you asking me, is it Z? So I don't know if Jim is Jim McHugh or Jim is the name of the buyer. But it is illegal to buy people. You gotta know better than that. If you're a businessman, you gotta fucking know better than that. You're not smart, and you're part of what's making my life a living hell. Why would I go anywhere with you? I mean, I'm not going to be bought anyway. My guy tells me the other day, 20 to 30 men sit around and are obsessed and consumed with you, and you don't even know who they are. You own their day, you own their night, you rule their time, you rule their money. Day after day after day, you own them. You control everything they do. Everything they think about, everything that they are, and you don't have any fucking idea who they are. And I was like, oh my god, how weird. That is fucked up and weird. We got that many people don't have a life. Because it's that pathetic. It is that fucking pathetic. I'm just like this. Not Jennifer Aniston by any stretch. I'm just like this normal person. Just a normal, everyday, average person. I mean, I don't even, like, I don't have any words for that. When he said that, I was like, I just don't say that. It's creepy for sure. What do you say to something like that? You own them. You control everything they do. That Calvin guy's something. You control that bitch 24/7. You control his life. You control everything he thinks about. You control everything that he is. All of it. I'm like, wow. So he's giving me too much space in his head. He's like, all the space in his head. You own him. Because he doesn't make a move without obsessing about stuff to do to you. Yeah, that's pretty. He said David's not far behind. That's sick. That's sick. Jesus. It's sick. So, Mr. Powell, I was in his office twice. I was in his office on 2 different subject matters more than once. One was to go in there and I had a client running for county commissioner. The county commissioner makes a lot of decisions that affect the Lubbock County DA's office and their employees and such. They had an insurance fiasco where I guess they changed insurances, didn't tell anybody until it was already done. People's premiums doubled, and everybody threw a fit. Nobody consulted them. They were all mad, and so you get incumbents that were in trouble over that, and my guy ran against him, an incumbent. So we went in to ask him questions. I think one of them called my client, and he said, we're going to go meet with this guy. He's got a lot to spill. Then the guy pulls out a list of salaries for DAs per county, and he's like, as you can see, Lubbock is the lowest in the state. One of the lowest. There's 2 of us that are really, really low down here as far as salaries, or for ADAs. It sucks to live here. Did I ask you what you think? Please get out of my phone. He goes, I've got friends that got roots in Lubbock, family in Lubbock, and they're having to move away to work in a DA's office somewhere else because Lubbock sucks at the pay. So we went in there to talk to them about that on more than one occasion, more than one employee there. We had, then I went in over the thing with my parents. I don't even want to talk about that right now. I really don't. So, there was plenty of opportunity for Mr. And then, of course, I went to the monthly Lubbock area Republican women meetings. We had those once a month at lunch. Every fucking politician, elected official in the town, and some out of town, but in the county, went to that fucking lunch. Where were you? I mean, that's what you do. You go and you meet people that can help you get elected. You go and you meet people that can give you campaign donations, that can show up for you at block walking. That's what the LARW did. That's what I did when I first moved to Lubbock. I was in charge of campaign activities. So I would line up people to block walk on a Saturday or whatever, Sunday or both, for a certain candidate, especially the ones that might be struggling and needed some help. That's what I chose who we helped and who we didn't. We also made arrangements with a class, a political science class at Texas Tech. They got an assignment to block walk. So we took all the college students with us one day and we went out and block walked. I think that day we just did the presidential race. We did McCain and Palin, if I remember right. So that was my job. I had a lot of control when I had that job, didn't I? If I got to choose who we helped and who we didn't. And so that's, I got to meet a lot of people that way. Mr. Perry, and established very good rapport with a lot of them. And they got to see my work ethic and my motivation to help good people get elected. Not just one spot, to all spots that we needed. So, why would I need you? Why would I have been impressed with you? Why would I need you? Who the fuck do you? Who are you? You were the new guy. I'd been in it all my life. For 3 years in Lubbock before I met you. Before you crawled out from under your rock, and we got you elected. And we did get you elected on purpose, and I've been over that. It is it's a great strategy. And anyone in law enforcement that listens to this that wants to use it, you got a guy with grandiose thinking, who's arrogant as fuck, and he thinks he's God. If you want to get to him and do an undercover on him, then what we did is Mr. Perry has that arrogance and bullshit, and you can go into his office and you can pretend you need your taxes done only a time or two, and he's going to get wise to it. Although Perry's so slow, it might be 5 times, and then he gets. He may never get wise to it. He's very slow. But anyways, let's assume we have a normal intelligence level that we're dealing with. You can go in, you can pretend that you're undercover. You pretend you need your taxes done. You sit and chat, and you sting off the guy. Well, Mr. Perry is a lot. When you get somebody that likes to brag about what they can do and get away with, it's better if you make them a public figure, or at least in the running. That way they're out shaking hands, they're meeting lots of people, they're interacting with the public a lot, kissing babies, they want your money for my campaign, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I want your vote. They'll spend a lot of time talking to you. They spend a lot of time bragging. They want your vote. I'm this and I'm that, and it's all me. And that is perfect for a sting off right there. That kind of mentality that you can do in your sleep. Somebody that likes to brag. Somebody that's all about them. And they talk and they won't shut up. Because if you do a really good sting off, you don't talk much. You let the other person talk. Because you want them to tell you something, right? So you let them get going, and you can let them get talking. Stuff will slip out. They mean for it to or not, it'll come. All by itself. You don't have to ask a fucking question sometimes. So, they'll just tell you. All you do is introduce yourself and shut your mouth. And let these kind never shut up. They'll just let them go. Let them run their mouths. And just like, wow, okay. And then, kind of observe their body language, observe their reactions, or observe when they pause. You know, they pause. If somebody pauses at the wrong place, I catch that. I catch that kind of crap. So, I mean, you don't have to, you know, my point is, we got him in a place where we could get to him a lot easier than if he's in his office doing taxes. And it worked. Worked brilliantly. Right, Mr. Perry? You've been more caught since you did this shit to me than ever before in your life. I always ask the question, how many times were you caught before you did this to me? How many times were you caught after? I mean, she wasn't supposed to know she was trafficked. She was supposed to just go back to Texas with her ex-husband after we made her broke. And unfortunately, she found out, so she won't go. Wait, would you go be trafficked? Would you do that? I mean, you're off your nut. You're fucking off your nut. And dude that bought me, I assure you, within a week I'd be dead. You wouldn't have a fucking thing to control over it at all. None. Now, the next thing was my ex-husband. I did talk to my ex-husband last night, and it was the first time we've talked in a while because he caused a conflict between us. So when the take that someone else got based on the conversation where he's screaming and yelling at me and won't listen, and I'm telling him I can't go to Texas with you. It's dangerous for me. I can't go to Texas. I'm not going. I'll sleep in my car. But I'm fine. Sleep in your car. I don't care. Wow. My son's like, I heard the recording. I heard what you said, and I'm like, well, here's the thing though, Dennis. I didn't get to talk, so you didn't hear what I had to say. You heard what your dad had to say. He didn't let me talk. So, you didn't hear shit. You didn't fucking hear shit. Here's the, I don't, at this point, we're gonna go with, he has no idea what he was being asked to do. And that's all I'm gonna say. He was, based on his text and the way he changed, I'm gonna pay a week, and then all of a sudden you guys call him, and now it's changed. Oh, it's just a day, now you sleep under a bridge. I don't care. That's what he said. I don't care if it's dangerous. I think that knowing my ex-husband like I do, he does care. He was told to say that. And, you guys, did you go tell him we've trafficked her? She won't even be at your house. Does he know that? Does he know that within a week I'd be dead? That is truly your intent? You know, he's like, what's he want to do? What's he want to do with you? You're just a stupid stripper. I'm like, oh, wow. Actually, no. I've caught more crime than anybody in their lives has. I mean, they don't know anybody that's caught this much crime. I have help. I can't do that by myself. So, by the way, Fabian is the only one that would not come here to help them hurt me. And I guess he was offered a shit ton of money. Alright, so he cuts it off right there. So that was clearly a sensitive subject that they offered. I heard $15,000, go get her back to Texas. And I understood he said, I prefer to live alone. Because you told him I was going to live with him or what. And then, he said, I don't want to deal with this. I didn't want to deal with you. Trying to make him hurt me for you. Then you upped it to what, 20, then 25, and he still said no. I told you he was not going to come here and hurt me for you. He knows that you want to use him to hurt me. I know that you want to use him to hurt me. He knows I know that you want to use him to hurt me. I'm not, again, I'm of the age of consent. I said no. Now you're trying to coerce. You want to starve me until I lie. You want to starve me until I go be trafficked. But the thing is I wasn't supposed to know, and I do. I wasn't supposed to know about the forgeries, and I do. I wasn't supposed to know this much detail about your criminal organization, and I do. How did I get that information? What police gave it to me? I can't do with that by myself. The Fabian puzzle they gave to me in jail. You had no control over that. When I quote you, you have no control over that. It's not up to you. Nobody calls you and asks your permission. So why not just ride out the wave until they put you in jail and it's over? We'll never have to deal with this again. I'll never be broke again. I get my privacy back. Mike gets to go home and it's done. So when you offer me these bribes, Mr. Perry, take the bribe and do what we say. Take the coaxing. You know, go to Pensacola, Mike. It'll be fun. Right? Is that what you told him? To coax him to his life blew up and Chief Miller to his death? That's what you're trying to do to me. And we all know that. So you're caught. You can't still do it. Dumb fuck. You guys are delusional that you think you can still do it after you're caught. Who has those actual recordings? Who has the actual evidence? No one will tell you because you're dangerous. It's called continuity. Integrity of the investigation. They're not going to compromise it for you. I know you guys think you're God. Everyone else doesn't see it that way. 99.9% of the population is very offended by what you're doing. And I guess one of my sons said, she's a bitch, she deserves whatever it is you want to do to her. My guy was flipped a gasket. He goes, your son has heard your ex-husband badmouth you. These guys badmouth you. Everyone's badmouthed you to him. Nonstop for years. And both your kids. They have no right to do that. What if we did that to his kids? What if we called up his kids and got people gaslighting them? We could have. We don't do business that way. It's unethical and unprofessional. But we could have. But they have. They've done that to you with your kids. So your kids have not been around you. They haven't spent time with you. They haven't been on the phone with you. They don't know what's going on in your life. They don't know the people we're helping in doing this. They don't know us. They don't know anything about this. So they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Your mom's a bitch. She deserves it. Wow. So that is going to cause a problem for y'all. Big time. Big time. Those are my kids. You go after somebody's kids, you're asking for it. So, Mr. Perry, also, you seem to not understand this when I'm saying it. I don't care what you think. I'm the one catching your crime like nobody else has done before. Things are different when you do it to me. I truly don't care what you think. Everybody's very, 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 very sick and tired of hearing what you think. Mr. Perry, listen to the words I'm saying. You got to get out of my phone. I don't want you in my phone. You don't have my consent to hack me or clone my phone. You don't have my consent to contact me at all. And not in any way, shape, or form. The more you contact me, the more mad everybody gets and the more we get. The longer I'm broke, the more mad everybody gets and the more we get. The longer Mike Neely's in jail, the more pissed off everybody gets and the more we get. The longer and the more drama and problems and hardships you cause, Calvin, for me, the more contacts you make with people I know that you shouldn't know anything about, the more pissed off everybody gets and the more we get. And the more we get, the easier it's going to be to get a conviction. Mr. Perry, I don't care what you think. I don't want to hear it. Everybody's sick of hearing you talk. You continue to try to talk to me like you think I care what you think. I think I've said it. I go over and over and over and over. Dumbass. I don't care what you think. Get out of my phone. Don't contact me again. When you contact me, we get more. You know why? Because it pisses me off. I said don't contact me. I don't like it when you contact me. You're stupid. I don't even understand you. You're a criminal. Nothing more. You're horrifying people. And that, David, Calvin, is why we can get everything you said for the past however many years. Calvin, I think you've been, what, a year and a half now? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You tell us. So, whatever it is you think I can't prove, they can. We're getting this for a criminal case. All of it is for that. I don't know what everybody else is doing. Don't care. Because we've got information that nobody else has. Right, Geppetto? Right, Lucius? Right, Calvin? After you guys started trying to take my home is when we start getting more names and what your roles are. Your code words. What's Papa John's to you? It's not the pizza place. What is it to you? And you guys do the same thing every day. You get up and you start causing me problems and start causing me loss and start threatening me and start posing a threat to me. And we get a lot of it when you're sitting in your little meeting planning it. And then I put something out to my attorney. And then you guys all run around the rest of the day trying to figure out, how'd she find out? How'd she know? Who told? Who talked? Get on the phone. Let's all find out how'd she find out about that? She wasn't supposed to know. She wasn't supposed to know she was trafficked and we had forgeries. She wasn't supposed to know about this fraudulent wedding scam bullshit. That was really, you know, you went and told them, oh, I need the photos to prove that this is not a forgery after the fact. After the fact. And maybe, you know, maybe she'll go back with me. And I'll give her this lavish life. Bullshit. You sold me. It's part of your con. She wasn't supposed to know. So then you run around going, well, how does she know? And then you go right back at it. And then we do this cycle every day. And the more evidence that we get, because y'all do that, here's your shovel, dig away. And you do every day. The easier it's going to be to get a conviction, don't you think? I mean to me, that seems, this seems like daycare stuff. It seems like I'm teaching the daycare class with y'all. People don't like crime. When you're doing something illegal, that means people don't like it when you do that. That's why everybody else doesn't do it. People don't like that. They're horrified by it, just like they were BTK. They're horrified that you're making me sleep in my car, that you're threatening to take my car, and now you're going to, you know, let her eat out of a dumpster. Everybody's horrified that you threw my clothes away and everything I own. So we have no problem getting information, David, just like that. Quote you every fucking day, David. Every day we got it. Every day we got it, David. You're not keeping up, David, or Calvin. So, what do I, you know, it's another, I told you so. I did say, I told everybody that's what they were doing. So what are they going to do, prove me out? And you do. And we're like, wow, it's so easy, it's not even fair. It's so easy, it's not even fair. So I don't know how many times I can repeat the same thing. It's cause and effect. When you do that crime to me, it gets caught, you get caught every day. You have for 7 years. McNamara email was the first that you know of. I don't type it all up. I don't have time. I do have a life. Maybe you should try getting a life. 20 to 30 minutes, and you own their day, their night. You consume them, and you don't even know who they are. Wow. When you cause me problems or loss of any kind, 1 penny of my money, 1 minute of my time, David, you get caught. And you know what? You are not sleeping in your car. You did not lose your home. Nobody feels sorry for you. Charles, you're not sorry for anything. You're sorry you got caught. You're full of shit. Nobody believes a word you say anymore. And that's why when we say everybody would like very much for you to shut the fuck up. Everybody's sick and tired of you. Everybody's sick and tired of you, Charles. We get more when you contact me. I tried to do freelance work, you know, Amazon, ClickBank, Upworks, that type of thing. And they ruined it. They called and told them, don't let her make any money. We know that. My guys have all the evidence of that they need, David. They have all the evidence they needed to prove that you stopped bank drafts twice. Okay? Everything you do, they have the evidence of it. They're sitting watching everything you do to protect me. It was when they had the strategy of go ahead and tell them that there is a police investigation. Just don't tell them who we are, because they'll start coming at us. Right now, they need to not know who we are, so that we continue to keep you safe and work behind the scenes, work in a way where they can't get to it and mess it all up. That's what they do. Kind of like Dave went to see it once they stole your mail. Dave went to the airport to talk to them to see if you filed a complaint with the postal inspector. That's why we told you not to file one here. We'll file it. We'll file it. I got a guy on that. So what day are they going to arrest you? What day is this finally over? What day are we done? If we're getting all this stuff nobody else has, why are we doing that? Because we're just bored? We need party entertainment. We're going to play these recordings as party entertainment. That's it. We'll go with that, right? Is that what you tell yourselves? What do you tell yourselves? We don't even know. It doesn't even make sense, that's for sure. So, in Oklahoma, we had a 44% increase in murders of domestic violence victims. Guess what else happens when you got domestic violence problems that are not adequately addressed? You end up with dead police as well. There's a high number of cops that are killed at domestic violence calls. And you put each other at risk when you don't deal with that problem effectively. And one of those casualties is Lucky Miller, and the other one is Michael Neely, because you can't beat somebody to death while you're drugged and unconscious and overdosed on opioids and end up with not a mark on you, can you? Nope, you cannot. So we know he didn't do that. We know you did that. And you wouldn't be trying to coerce me and force me to lie. Sign your letter of apology and your affidavit, which is your words, not mine. It is a lie. You need the lie. We're all sick of hearing about how you need a lie. I'll starve you until you lie. I hear it every day. I have for well over a year. Well, 2021. Every fucking day. So, and they do try. They're trying to... my guy goes, it's not that he expressed intent to commit the crime. He's actually trying to commit the crime as hard as he can. So, we got him on that. Grand larceny with intent to coerce, interference with commerce and contracts with intent to coerce. Those are the acts. The actual charge, I believe, is like a witness tampering thing. So the actual charge, I believe, would be a witness tampering type deal from what the prosecutor said. But the act of witness tampering would be grand larceny with intent to coerce, or interference with commerce and contracts with intent to coerce. You want to take my money to starve me into a lie, just like you said. You just put that together with a recording, you're golden, right? What's the jury going to say? Are they going to hate you as much as everybody in Oklahoma hates you for what you're putting me through? They're worried about me. They're very worried about me. They're very worried about Mike. They don't give a fuck about you. That's why we can get information and you can't. You have leaks, we don't. I've said this over and over and over and over. Cause and effect. When you fuck with me, it's different. That's the cause. You get caught. That's the effect. Every day for 7 years. It's not happened once or twice. It's not happened for a few days or a few weeks or a few months or a year. It's happened every day for 7 years. And it's different when you do it to me, but it's the same every time you do it. We get the information before you do it, not after. So when you do it, you just proved out the recording. Anybody can sit around and talk about robbing a bank. Until they actually rob the bank, there's no crime there. It's not a crime in talking about robbing a bank. But there is a crime when you actually rob the bank and now you got evidence that you premeditated it. Things are different in sentencing when it is a premeditated, intentionally malicious crime. And you knew that. And you did it anyway. And you knew you were caught and you did it anyway. And you didn't have one conversation about it, you had 20. So you meant to do it. You meant to do it on purpose. You wanted to cause an injury, and you wanted to do it with a criminal act, and you wanted to do it but so badly. You talked about it, not just once, but 10, 20, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times. And then you tried again and again and again and again. Wow, dear God, I think they got Maine's Ray met on that like a motherfucker, don't you? I don't know. So, we, you know, I'm telling you what we got today with Mr. Powell. I should have gotten to know her better when she lived here, because the way Charles described her is not her at all. I'm not seeing that person. I'm not a stupid stripper. You know, she got caught up in the wrong crowd. I didn't. I'm a victim. You're a job, but you also made me a victim. So we can choose what we do with what happens to us. We can't choose what other people do. We can't control that. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control what we do with what happens to us. We can find a way to help other people, or we can sit around and whine and cry about it. You know, I choose to try to find a way to help other people. I've had to go through hell over the last few months. I've never in my life had to be sleeping in a car. Never. So, because I am, though, every night that I am, we get more, Mr. Perry, from inside your camp, inside your criminal organization, right up under your nose. Nobody cares what you think about that. You know, no one asked. Did they call you up and ask? Nope. Okay, so here's an example. People go to what brings pleasure and away from what brings pain. And you guys cause fear and sadness. You guys cause anxiety and stress, and everybody wants you gone. Just like they wanted him in jail. They wanted him in jail. They wanted the shooter from Las Vegas in jail, and they wanted that guy in jail. It just happens that mass shooters typically kill themselves. That's typically what it's kind of like an MO. So these two guys did themselves in, but everybody's hearts reach out to the victims. Everybody's worried about me and Mike, not you. Everybody's sick and tired of hearing what you think, David, Charles, Calvin. Everybody's sick and tired of hearing what y'all think. Charles, I don't care what you think. Everybody's sick of hearing it. Didn't ask you, did I, Connie Curry? Why did you go out with her? You guys are just alike. So they're not going, oh, yay for Ted Bundy. They're going, thank God they put that monster away. Our hearts go out to the victims and the victims' families. Thank God they put this monster away. Our hearts go out to the victims and the victims' families. Right? Are you just not all there? Are you just fucking not all there? So because of that, because you continue to fuck with me all day, and I'm broke, and I'm in my car, and Mike's still in jail, and you're still bothering me, we got more. Okay? It's been that way every day for years. First one was the McNamara email. Let's see if I can find it somewhere here. We got all, I mean, every day it's something. Something y'all said. Who's calling me? Who's calling me with that phone number? Cut it out. Mr. Perry wants to have a conversation. I've said no. I've said I don't want to hear what you have to say. Fuck off. Comply with the law. Just like that. You're not gonna. You think you're gonna talk me into something? You think you're gonna go? You think you're gonna do the same thing face to face that you do when you type it in my phone? I can make you broke. I can take your car. I can take everything you have. I can make you eat out of a dumpster. I can ruin your life. Nanny, nanny, no, no. Or you can take the bribe and do what I tell you. Because I'm doing it. I want to cover up. I want to cover up one crime with another crime. Yeah, is that what you think you're gonna do? I'm the one catching your crime like no one else has. I'm the one. I'm involved with 40 cops catching your crime like nobody else has done in your life. This came from police, guys. This is the McNamara email. This was 7 years ago, and we've gotten one every day since, just like it. It's just a different crime you're trying to do to me. It's just a different fucking crime you're trying to do to me. When you do it to me, you get caught. When you do it to me, you get caught. It's different when you do it to me, but it's the same every time you do it. Over and over and over. How many different ways do we need to say the same thing? You plan something, we find out about it, you run around trying to figure out how I found out about it. Another McNamara email type deal. And we're like, you keep fucking with me, you're gonna get, this is what's gonna happen. It should be a crime deterrent. It should fucking deter you from your crime. All you gotta do is leave me the fuck alone. Get the hell out of my life. No, we're gonna keep doing the same thing that gets the same results, because we're insane. Alright. There's your shovel, dig away. That's the Fabian puzzle. The probability of Fabian's name ending up here is a lot lower than Charles's name ending up there, because Charles is a much more common name than Fabian. If this were random, I would say. But it's not random. Those cops helping me got that to me. The word boo is a private joke between me and them. One of them. The words, it depicts the fear you cause and the sadness that you cause, and you're just the wannabe butt in here, never the one wanted. The conversation between you and Fabian, arguing, I'm glad you have no idea that he would, argue with, he would fight for me like that. Those girls at Lady Godiva said he's fighting for you like a motherfucker. That's the guy you need. He's defending your honor. He's defending what you want. He's trying to get you. Cares about you. Now, Fabian and I still don't know what Fabian and I even are. That's for our decision. That's our decision, don't you think? We got to be in the same room together before we can make any kind of call like that. It might be nothing. It might be acquaintance. It might be BFFs forever. It might be romantic. We'll decide. We don't need your help. You're not his spokesperson, and you're not my spokesperson. And you guys seem to all appoint yourselves as everybody else's spokesperson. And you need to cut that out. It's pissing people off. You know what else pisses people off? We're tired of him telling us when we can talk to her and what we can say. We're tired of it. You need to butt out. This depicts you as a butt in. I didn't invite you into my life. I don't want you in my life. I didn't sign up for your cult. I didn't consent to be sold. It's illegal to sell people. I didn't want any of this. You know what I did? I moved here. I moved twice. Picked up everything I had. Started all over again with a kid. To get away from this. And not have a conflict. Not with you, not with anybody. Right? You're bringing the conflict to Oklahoma. You're causing the stress. You're causing the anxiety. You're hated. You're told on. And you don't seem to get that. You're very mentally slow. We're all irritated with having to deal with that. Mr. Perry, we are all very irritated with having to deal with your mental slow problem. You're mentally retarded. There's no way you're not. There absolutely has to be that there, like my shrink said. You have to be. To do the same thing every day for this long and get nothing but caught. For 7 years. Every fucking day. I said no. No means no. Fuck off. Fuck the hell off. Butt out. When we get this shit, it isn't up to you. That wasn't up to you. What we got today wasn't up to you. The Yellow Brick Road emails. Can't we get her to take the Yellow Brick Road? Is that you, Calvin, that talks that way? Who talks like that? Oh, you need to get the fucking hay out of your mouth. Talk right. You know, can't we get her to mind it? Good God. Yeehaw. That drives us nuts. This right here, Calvin, or whoever fucking talks that way, misogynist pig. Misogyny is a thing that men hate women. Hate them. You got mommy issues. Get a shrink. Go to therapy and get the fuck out of us. Get it off of us. Don't bother other people with your personal mommy problem, you know, issue. Yuck. Don't bother other people with that crap. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Get some class. Get some dignity. You deal with it within your own family and a therapist. Gosh, you guys have your little meetings. What you're going to do next that ends up being an email. That somebody's got an actual recording of it somewhere. So maybe get a shrink and maybe all you guys meet together with a shrink. I think it would be more productive use of your time, don't you? Since what you're doing is just getting your crime caught. I'm going to take her car. It's not legal. I'm going to take it and have it towed and sold before she figures that out. Yep, got that one. So this puzzle got to me in jail. This got to me. This got to me. Everything today got to me. And we got to pull a list of realtors, male, middle-aged, white men who are licensed realtors in Houston, since she's narrowed it down to that, to find this buyer. Yep. Because this guy thinks he bought a person. He also needs to have the means to think he bought a person. Charles sold something he doesn't know. Charles is a con artist. Yep. We need to get her back in Texas so we can do more to her. Coerce. Coercion is a crime. Coercion is a crime. Coercion is a crime. So you think you're going to call me and talk me into something and coerce? Is that what you think? Yeah, see, nobody understands why you think what you think. It doesn't even make sense, even for you. So, there's that. Now, as far as the overall problem with domestic violence, look at this. These men do not just stop. They don't just do it one time. They do it over and over and over and over, whether it be stalking or beating the fuck out of these women or whatever it is they do that's abusive. Economic abuse, physical violence, and they put a risk to a cop too, by the way. They'll put a risk on a cop. And so, it is very important that the first time the guy beats the shit out... Let me tell you something how women see this. When you come at a woman and say, I'll put you in a shelter, we're thinking, fuck you. You get the guy and you put him in jail. Put the bitch in jail. Remove the danger from society. I'm not moving. This is my house with my kids. You put the bitch in jail so he can't hurt people anymore, and that includes cops. Because cops are often hurt at domestic violence scenes. These guys don't care. They'll beat the hell out of you too. They're just violent. They're just violent. And now we got a dead Lucky and an almost dead framed Mike. Because you guys didn't, obstruction of justice. You had such an easy case right there. Boom, that would have done it. So, they're being very careful, these guys helping me, to get to get the whole group of it. Except for the fact that There's so much that's gone on in Tulsa, and it's so easy to prosecute, and everybody just looked the other way, but it looks like maybe that's just what you do on all these kind of cases. It certainly doesn't match up with what we all hear on Connecting the Dots that's provided by the National Victims Stalking Resource Center, or use of technology, or any of the training videos that they have. Here's how law enforcement is to handle stalking complaints. Because these fuckers are dangerous. And she says that. One of the officers in the video says, these guys are dangerous. And the victim needs to know, these men are dangerous. Don't try to think you can talk them out of it. You can't reason with crazy. You know, and these guys are also low intellect, most of them. So you're going to go, you know, talk to a piece of broccoli. You're going to get the same thing. Don't, you know, don't go think, oh yeah, I'll go to lunch with them and then I can talk them out of stalking me. It's not. Make sure they know that they're in danger. That's not how that's going to work. If only it were that easy. So you got a 44% increase in murder of domestic violence victims since 2020. That's a very high increase. It's statewide. It's not just Tulsa. But what are we doing in Tulsa? Because that's where I live. And don't tell women, I'll put you in a shelter. Put the guy in jail. Because he's not just endangering the woman and the kids. He's endangering other people that he might perceive be getting in the way, and that might mean a cop. You're endangering the life of a cop too. A lot of cops get killed at domestic violence calls. Oh, I mean, there's stats on that. I don't have them off the top of my head. You look them up. This woman called and called and called and called and called. They all do. There's never one call. There's a bunch of calls. You know exactly who they are. They're usually very well known to law enforcement. They're always repeat offenders. They can't control themselves. They can't do it. If somehow they can get into therapy or a class or whatever, I think DVI has that, actually. They have classes in therapy and shit for offenders to try to help them stop doing this. It's not just affecting the mom. The mom, it's affecting the kids. The kids are growing up watching this. Kids are traumatized watching somebody beat the hell out of their mom or watching somebody hurt their mom. And if you don't think my kids are traumatized, you're off your nut. And I would venture to say that some of that is what was behind my mom's a bitch. She deserves it. How many different times are you going to put my son through the trauma of hearing what bad thing you're going to do next? And at some point, he's just going to shut down. He's just going to shut down and stop arguing with you and pretend. And what's going to happen when he doesn't have to pretend anymore for you? See, that's my goal here. Not to go, okay, I'll do what you want. My goal is, you're in jail. There are no more of that. There's no more of this threats and harassment from you. And little meetings where you tell everybody what you're going to do to me and get them all upset. You like getting people upset more than you even like a cover-up. Don't you? You got a problem with that, don't you? So, you know, the obstruction was an easy one. You could have got it. I could have gone in to talk and find out what happened to Mary Beth, what happened to Justice Scalia, and save Lucky and Mike would still be where they are, and there would not be a dead cop right now, and an almost dead framed one, and an officer down in need of assist. And we don't leave cop family behind. We don't leave cop family behind. We don't do it. We fucking don't do it. If there was a shootout, you'd go in there and get him. What's the difference? What's the fucking difference? You go in and get him. And you get him back to his family. He was ripped away from his family. What if it was you? What if it was you that this happened to, and I'm defending you like this, and I'm in my car, and I go a week without electricity, I'm getting kicked out of my house, blah, blah, blah. And I'm still like, I'm not backing off. Get the guy home. We don't leave a man behind. If we're in battle, if there's a war, you don't leave a man behind, and you walk in there and you know you're going to get shot at. You know shit's going to happen, and you fucking do it anyway. You just do it. You brave it. And it sucks. You do it anyway. It's a temporary situation, because at the end of the day, you're going to save lives. You're going to save a lot of lives. You're going to help a lot of people. You're going to be able to tell a lot of people you're safe now. And that's what law enforcement is supposed to do. As lawmen and women, we are to relieve suffering caused by crime, whether you're a cop or not. That's why we are here on this. That's why we are here on this earth. It was my granddad's thing. As lawmen and women, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime. And tell the victims you're safe now. And I think that ought to be on the building of every police department. When you walk in, the first thing a victim sees is a big thing on the painting on the wall that says you're safe now. You're safe now. And as a victim, those words mean more than you can ever know. When somebody says that to you, and you've gone through hell and loss from crime, and someone tells you, you are safe now, he won't hurt you again. And I've had my guys tell me that at different times when the threat just increased like a motherfucker, and it was stressful, and there was anxiety, and they got rid of it, they diffused it for me. They were able to say, you're safe now. And that means more than you can imagine. It is a life-changing sentence for the victim of crime, especially when that crime is ongoing. And that is what the job of law enforcement is. And there is no other thing that it's for. There's nothing else that law enforcement is supposed to do except to be able to relieve the suffering caused by the crime. It's not about stats. It's not about my pension. It's not about your, adrenaline rush. It is about looking a victim in the eye and telling them you're not gonna hurt anymore. I just took your hurt away. I just lifted the heavy off of you. And if you're in it for any other reason, please get out of it. Just you're gonna fuck something up and you're gonna get somebody killed. And you don't have that right. It's not for everybody. Law enforcement isn't for everybody. And I'm not able to say exactly what my role is, other than I was supposed to get Mr. Perry elected, and that was it. That was supposed to be the end of it. And since he decided to do this shit to me, he gets caught. And nothing else has come from everything they do, Charles, Dave, Josh, Joe, and Matt, every fucking day for 7 years. And it doesn't matter what crap he types in my phone. He never makes sense. He fucking doesn't even make sense. I said don't contact me, and by God, that's what I meant. And the more you do it, the more we get. Those are the results you have. Nothing else. Nothing else has come from what you do all day with your time. It is ridiculous. You don't even make sense. What you're doing doesn't even benefit you. You guys take a penny of my money. Everybody gets mad. We get more. Then you got to get that to your attorneys. Your attorneys you got to pay them a $350, $500 an hour to read it all. And then you'll have to pay another $350 or $500 an hour to read it in a criminal case and listen to whatever they got, right? Yeah, it's not even benefiting you. So you must just enjoy pissing people off more than you even need a lie or a cover-up. So I think at this point, when you continue to ask for a lie, people are like sick of hearing it. They're just like, shut the hell up. Shut the fuck up. You piece of trash. Shut the hell up. Those are the results you have. It doesn't even benefit you. You don't even make sense. So what I'm going through is absolute hell. Absolute fucking hell. I can't even explain to you how bad this is. But it's part of it. And it's temporary. And I know it's about to come. And the shit's gonna hit the fan. And it's done. It's over. And there'll be a lot of people that benefit in a very, very big way. Because crime always hurts people. It's top of the list. Second only to what's my financial problems right now. Inflation. I want that problem solved. And the second thing I want solved is crime. Defunding police was about stopping corruption. When it comes down to it, that's what it was about. People were tired of the corruption. And they just wanted it to stop. And they came up with the stupidest idea ever. So, you take from that what you take. Whatever your takeaways are from this podcast, but I'm not going to be sold. It's illegal to do that. I'm of the age of consent. I don't consent. Why would I consent? Why would you think that I would just go, oh, okay, I'll go be sold to some guy I don't even know or like, never met? I mean, what the hell's your problem? You had no legal authority to do any such thing. You don't own anything. You sold something you don't own. You sold an ocean in Arizona is what you sold. And by the way, there aren't any. And the more you do this shit to me, the more you get caught. I wasn't supposed to know I was sold, but I do. Because the longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the more problems and loss you cause me, the more we get before you do it. I'm not in Texas now. We found out about all that before you did it. And we said it, and you still tried to do it. It doesn't get any stupider than that. And easier to prove in a criminal case. But we wanted Tulsa to do the obstruction. It's easy obstruction case. They should have done it. Then there wouldn't be a dead cop and an almost dead framed cop. And we want him home. We cannot leave a man behind. We can't do it. We can't do it. Cop family does not leave one behind. An officer down in need of assist. If it was a bank robbery, like the Bank of America thing, and everybody was shooting at each other, you'd go in and you'd get him out. Why are we leaving him there? I'm going through hell and I've not backed off. I've not backed off. You have to look your kids in the eye at some point and go, this is what I did all day with my time, and I'm either proud of it or I'm ashamed of it, and you might have to explain it away from me someday. This is your legacy. You build it one day at a time. Make sure you build it in a way that your kids are proud of it and don't have to explain something away. I'm very proud of my granddad. I'm not my dad. Can you see the difference? My granddad lived a life I can be proud of, and it left a legacy. We don't have to explain anything. And my dad's he made a different choice. He made a different choice. I had to sit and listen to people tell me how bad my dad hurt them, and I had to apologize for my dad to people he hurt very badly, and he didn't care. I never have to do that with my granddad. So what legacy is it you are leaving for your children? When you go home tonight, are you going to tell them, I'm proud of what I did today. Here's what I did. I tried to help put a woman down who's doing the right thing. Or I told the victim, you're safe now. I stopped crime. I made somebody's heavy go away. I made the hurt go away. And that's true for everybody, not just cops. Everybody has to have that day, at the end of the day, what'd you do with your time? What'd you do with your day? Did you make everybody's life easier and fun? Or did you make them want to hit you because you made everything crappy? We all have to answer for that. And my kids, at some point, when they can talk and they don't have to pretend for you, and they have not heard all the bad that you've made up in your head, it's not even real. The stuff they're told is not even real. And I'll tell you one thing. I never picked up the phone and called my son and badmouthed his dad to him, ever. I called him, pick up the phone, and how's school? How's your life? How's your girlfriend? How's this? How's that? And that's that. That was the end of the conversation. And that's what people want. They want to be around people who make life fun and easy. And those who make things stressful and anxious and hard and difficult want y'all gone. And you're the source of that. Everybody wants y'all gone. That's why we can get information and you can't. You have leaks, we don't. Just like that. I don't know how many different ways I need to say the same thing. Now, I don't want your bribe. You owe me a legitimate debt, legal. I don't want to take your BioLine money and be a part of your crime. I don't want to. I've said that. You're trying to push me, and it's pissing us off. And when you piss me off, we get more. Just like that. Always have, every day, for 7 years. It shouldn't take 7 years to spot a pattern. We spotted yours the second time you did it. Pay the debt and get the hell out of my life. Or at least, if you do nothing else, just get the fuck out of my life. And don't contact me again, because I truly hate it.